Blackledge, my friend, what is up?
It's all you, man. Just thrilled to be back with you again, sharing a screen. I love it.
Yeah. It feels good, doesn't it? The two of us here just hanging out.
Yeah, nice hat too, by the way. I don't recall getting one of those sent to me in the mail. So yeah,
that's my.
I'm a big hat guy. I'm a hat guy. But
you are. You like to wear a good hat.
I do.
And okay, I'm writing that down right now. I'll tell my assistant. We gotta get Todd a hat. There's nobody over there. I wish there was.
Mannequin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a picture of myself up there I'm talking to. Okay, so we got a big week here. We're doing a little special episode for Honorable Mention Sports, Todd's new favorite sports media company in the world, Georgia versus Alabama. And if I recall, you called this game probably more than once, but you called this particular game in 2007.
I don't remember what the year was exactly. Might have been that. Yeah, I do remember the details. I mean, it was an overtime game in Tuscaloosa, and I remember Matthew Stafford was the quarterback for Georgia. So but I don't remember exactly what the year was.
I believe it was 2007 in Tuscaloosa. And your partner in crime there, Mike Patrick, here towards the end of the game when things were getting real hot here at the end, threw out the most random of statements. And I think if I can do this correctly, we're going to pull it up and you're going to see it right now. And we're going to live it. We're going to live it right now. Are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready. Yeah.
I have an important question. Go ahead. What is Brittany doing with her life? Who? Brittany. Brittany who? Spears. What is she doing with her career?
Why do we care at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. So
as you could tell, I was flabbergasted. I mean, I think he even went on to ask, is she here? I mean, is she a football fan? I mean, why is that even, And I think Georgia may have scored the next. I mean, the game ended pretty quickly after that, so it was just very, very bizarre because that was overtime. I mean, I'm, overtime, and I am locked in. I'm locked in for the whole game, but when you go to overtime, man, I am super locked in. So I am, I'm studying the field and studying what I think might happen, and he threw that question at me. Yeah.
This is a big moment.
Huge
moment. Overtime. Bama's just scored a field goal. They're up by 3. Georgia's getting ready to take the field. And you're right. They scored like the next play or two to win the game.
A long pass for a touchdown, game over. Yeah.
In the middle of that, Mike Patrick's over there just, thinking about pop stars. He's like, I wonder what Brittany's doing right now.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Well,
so
did you ask him?
So I never fully got the explanation, but my assumption, what I had figured for a long time, was that particular year, we always, in the beginning of the college football season, we would always have a college football seminar, and they would bring everybody, all the announcers, producers, everybody in to Bristol or, Hartford or wherever we were at. And it was 2 days, of kind of, part of it was rah-rah, get everybody together, get excited for the season. Part of it was, these are our, points of emphasis this season, some of the new initiatives, blah, blah, blah. But it was always fun because it was the only time that everybody that was involved in college football, the announcers were together. And so this particular year, I think you're right, I think it was 2007, one of our executives who spoke to the whole group, I am not going to name him at this point, but he did a presentation with like an overhead, screen and all this stuff. And it was he put this picture up and it was a bunch of circles, and the whole message was about concentric circles. And what he explained that was the innermost circle was the game. And he's like, we do the game better than anybody, break down the game, analyze the game. The next circle out would be like the players and the coaches and maybe, their lives and stories. And and all these other circles that you would branch out and get further away from the game into cultural things, pop thing, whatever. But when the game dictated it, you could always get it back to the game. And, Mike Patrick's an old school guy, and he's just kind of chuckling under his breath. I'm sitting next to him during the seminar. I'm sure he's like, what the hell is this? This is nuts. And most of the people in there were like, okay, this sounds really great. And they'll talk about it for a couple of weeks. And then after a couple of weeks, it'll go away and we'll just be doing games like normal, right? Because we always kind of do that anyway. But anyway, This was concentric circles,
Yes.
They should have made hats with concentric circles on it with a soul.
They should have. Yeah, like Olympic rings almost is what,
So anyway, again, I never got an explanation, but my assumption was always that Mike waited till the right time to kind of send a message back of what he thought of concentric circles. Because here we are in overtime, very intense moment, and out of left field, deep left field, comes a question about Britney Spears. So, very, very wild. And as you can tell by my response, I was just floored.
You're like, what?
No idea where he was going with that. And then it never came up again, after that. So
no, it's something we don't, we're like, we're not talking about this again.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then for me, the full circle for me, which is just as bizarre almost, is that I then several years later married a girl named Brittany from the same hometown of Kentwood, Louisiana as Britney Spears. And they went to the same private school in Mississippi growing up. So just insane. It all started with Mike Patrick.
Mike Patrick is like a matchmaker, really.
Maybe is.
It's one of those concentric circles right there. It's there's the game, then there's Mike as a matchmaker.
Yeah.
That is what, and I know your wife Brittany, she's amazing and lovely. And who would have thought in 2007 because if I asked you that question now, I wonder what Brittany's doing. You could say, well, she's right over here and she's doing whatever. But now
this Brittany, I know what she's doing. The other one is making like bizarre videos in her underwear. So
but your Brittany's not doing that.
No, she's not.
Just Britney Spears. Okay.
Yes, Britney Spears.
I make bizarre videos in my underwear all the time. Nobody sees them though.
Good.
That's what I do in the mornings. That's my morning routine. So that is wild that that he just said that, and I like it because he's like this whole studio executive is telling us about concentric circles and walking the. He's like, I've been doing this for years. I know what I'm doing. Nobody needs to talk to me about this kind of stuff. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's like, I wonder what Brittany's doing right now. How's that for your?
I don't know that for a fact, but that's always been my assumption for all these years. And
yeah. We need to call Mike up.
Mike. He was great. Mike was a funny guy and a great partner. Yeah. Loved Taste of Town. Of all the guys I worked with when I did Taste of Town, Mike got the biggest kick out of that. He would belly laugh when we'd come back on camera after he saw some monstrosity that I ate. Very fun.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love the story. You got so many good stories. And if I had you on once a week to tell a story, it would be worth everybody's time. No doubt about it. All right. But we got Georgia versus Bama, not 2007, 2024, number 2 versus number 5 or 4. Something like that. It's a big deal. Obviously this is sort of probably a precursor to what we might be seeing later in the year. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on Georgia and Bama? You got thoughts on how this is going to play out?
Well, I think it'll be, when these two teams play, it's typically a really good football game, very competitive, very evenly matched teams, very similar teams in terms of how they're built physically, how they like to play, even though it's different this year because it's not Kirby Smart and Nick Saban anymore. Now it's Kirby Smart and the way Georgia does it, and it's now Kalen DeBoer, which is the way Alabama does it in a little different way, But I still think it's going to be a really fun matchup. You got two outstanding quarterbacks in the game, kind of different styles between the two. Both are going to be physical on defense, going to try to establish the run. This is a kind of game that is won or lost in the trenches. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage and whoever wins the turnover game, that's what these kind of games are all about. because both teams pride themselves on being physical and imposing their will on their opponent. So so I think it'll be fun. I mean, I think Alabama right now is an underdog at home, which is very, very, very rare.
Yeah.
And really Georgia's the only team that probably could go in there as the favorite. So but I think it'll be a fun game to watch. Yeah, it'll be a really fun game.
What do you make of Georgia's struggles with Kentucky? And is that just early season, kinks that you're working out? And they tend to kind of do that early in the year.
Yeah.
They kind of keep it close with a team they normally shouldn't or wouldn't. And then they all of a sudden, they kind of break out of it and they start killing people.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think
mean,
there are some teams that I don't want to say they have your number because they don't beat you, but there are some teams that play you tough and competitively. And I think Kentucky has done that with Georgia in other years. I don't think it's been a really lopsided series. I mean, even though Georgia wins, I think Kentucky historically has played them with some toughness. You know, so I don't make a whole lot of that. I think look, sometimes you have to win games like that to be a championship caliber team. You've got to have games and overcome some stuff where you're maybe not playing your best, or you've made some mistakes and you find a way to win. So I don't think there's anything lingering to make from that.
Yeah. You got a pick on this, or are you just going to let it ride?
I'm just going to let it ride. I don't like picking games. No.
I know you don't.
I like watching games. Yeah, I just like watching games.
Yeah. That's the best part. I like to pick games, but just mainly because I'm usually right about the picks. Remember? You know how good I am.
Yeah, you were very good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. I went 9-3 last week with my picks. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, who are you picking then? Tell me who you're picking.
I haven't decided yet.
What are you gonna wait and study the game plans a little more, watch a little more film? And why are you waiting? I mean, I don't understand why you would be waiting.
Just for suspense, I'll probably flip a coin. I have a pretty big strategy that I use to pick these games. Actually, honestly, I would say Alabama wins if I had to. It's a home game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be wild. Supposedly President Trump's going to be there. Wow. And, it's going to be good.
All right. Well, just to say I went the other direction, I'll take Georgia.
Okay. That's smart. Then we could both be on the other side.
If we ever do a show again together, then we can at least, we can kind of reconnect in this game and then go from there.
Yeah. We probably won't do another show together, I would think. Because I remember last time you were like, I'm not doing this again. And so I can't believe I got you for this one.
No, it's always a pleasure.
You're the man, Todd. Thanks for sharing the story. And what game are you calling this week so people can watch?
I got Penn State, Illinois, which will be two ranked teams in the Big Ten. Illinois with a big win on the road at Nebraska last week. And, so they should be coming in with a lot of confidence. So, unfortunately, we're going up right against the Alabama-Georgia game in primetime. So, I mean, if that game gets one-sided or you get bored with it, or if there's a lightning delay or something, flip on over to our game. There we go.
Tune in. That's good. You said it's at Penn State or at Illinois?
It's at Penn State. So it'll be a lively environment, over 108,000 people, and it's not officially the whiteout game. That's supposed to be a couple weeks later. But James Franklin is urging the crowd to bring whiteout energy to the game on Saturday night. So
I like that.
We might have another whiteout. We'll see.
Yeah, got that whiteout energy. I like that. That's good. Well, it's going to be a good game. Illinois is surprising a lot of people. They look pretty good, but Penn State, I don't think Penn State looks pretty elite this year. I'm into it. So, well, good luck.